Garcia waited since September, and he took care of business right away.
Fighters Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia are two of boxing's most talented new gen athletes and are currently at war on Twitter. Their beef is enthralling everyone in this post-pandemic planet. These two fighters are destined to fight, but will it ever happen? And what is their beef about? On today's list, we will be going over Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. Will this fight ever happen? And all the beef you need to know about. You won't want to miss this list. But before we get into the video, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Now, onto the list. First up, who is Gervonta Davis? So, who is Gervonta Davis? He is the legendary Floyd Money Mayweather's protege and one of boxing's best ticket sellers, having sold out arenas in Baltimore and Atlanta. He is a heavy-hitting 135-pounder, commonly described as a younger, southpaw, and smaller version of legendary fighter Mike Tyson. He is also the jewel of the Mayweather Promotions crown right now. This boxer is a formidable fighter and could fight lots of boxers right now. This fight could be insane if he gets into the ring. Gervonta Davis is definitely a great fighter, one of the best at the moment. Next up, who is Ryan Garcia? The other fighter is Ryan Garcia. He is Oscar de la Hoya's rising star. His fast fists and boyish looks threaten to transcend the usual in-house sport to attract another fan base, just like popular fighter Jake Paul is trying to do right now. The fighter is much like his promoters. He was a heartthrob in his early days as well. These two fighters are definitely a great match for each other. Hopefully this fight will happen at some point, because it could break the boxing world in two no matter who wins. This fight could be insanity. Next up, what will happen to the winner? So regarding who wins the fight, what will happen to the winner? What is at stake? Well, the winner will be catapulted into superstardom, likely able to headline lucrative pay-per-view shows for the rest of their insane career, attracting more and more sponsors to get even more money. They will also become the face of combat sport, like someone such as Conor McGregor or Anthony Joshua. The winner will be such a huge celebrity and will be able to stand in the Hall of Fame. This fight is going to be insane if it happens at some point. Next up, trash-talking tweets. Even though in-person events were stopped due to the ongoing pandemic at the time, Twitter was a prime place for the trash-talking to build up and continue. Over the past few months, the two have been constantly going back and forth on the social media platform, trying to get the fight to happen and to rile up their opponent. Their tweets have been liked and shared thousands of times and could spark a negotiation for the lightweights to throw hands at a venue like the popular Staples Center. Hopefully the fight could happen later this year when the world returns to normalcy. Next up, Mayweather versus De La Hoya that never was. These two fighters are the embodiment of their trainers. To lots of the boxing world, they represent the Floyd Money Mayweather versus Oscar de la Hoya rematch that never was. The world has wanted this fight to happen for years now, but it never did. If these two proteges were to clash in the ring, it would make history for themselves and for the match that never was. So many people want these two to fight even more now. People really want to see what these legendary boxers have produced, and now who is the better trainer and not the better fighter. Next up, younger generation of boxers. Outside of their trainers, these two boxers represent the next and younger generation of boxers. They are the new big kids in town. They are hugely popular in the boxing world and have gained so much respect in the sport. People really want to see them fight in the ring. It's a hugely hyped fight and shows just how good the next generation can be. Yes, people want older fighters to rematch like Mayweather and De La Hoya, but there's a new generation now. We have new fighters and new skills. These people deserve their place in the spotlight. Hopefully we can see them fight and hopefully make history in the world of boxing. Next up, Ellerbe wants the big fight to happen. The CEO for Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellerbe, told Insider in Las Vegas that lightweight fights are harder to organize due to the larger talent pool in the division. He is determined to get a fight like Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia to happen. He said the more active the fighters are, continuing to go out there building brands, keeping on winning, eventually these fights happen. Well, hopefully he is right, as so many people want this fight to happen. It is clearly in demand, so the boxing world should realize this and make it happen. Next up is coronavirus's effect on boxing. Over the past year, the coronavirus pandemic shut down everything in the world, especially sport. All sporting events and anything related was completely stopped. All gyms and training camps were also stopped. This means some boxers were out of a fight and a proper place to train. Yes, they've been training at home and in places as the pandemic has slowed down, but it is not like it used to be. This fight has obviously been delayed due to the coronavirus, but it is also still affecting it to this day. Fights can be as big right now, so it's best to wait for the biggest audience possible. Next up, will this fight happen? If this fight is to happen, it will most likely happen towards the end of this this year or even early 2022. These fighters are eager to fight and are most likely training their hardest right now to win. But with the climate the world is in right now, it's going to be hard to get the result they want. This fight is going to be massive, so they want as huge of an audience as possible. Waiting until the end of the year is the biggest chance of getting this. This fight might break the internet and the boxing world, so it needs to happen at just the right time. And finally, outcome of the fight. So we've talked about everything leading up to the fight, the beef, the backstory, and the ongoing battle to get the fight to happen. But the main question is, who will win the fight? First of all, no matter who wins the fight, they are going to be a huge star, but the winner will be a superstar and the top of boxing. Both boxers are on equal ground being lightweight, and they both have amazing skill. So in the most honest way possible, this fight could go either way. Both fighters have amazing trainers and backings, so they are nearly evenly matched. Yes, they both have their own strengths and weaknesses, but they will clash head-to-head on somewhat equal ground. And that's our list. Overall, this fight is going to be huge and will be one of the biggest fights in boxing history. It should be bigger than the two trainers Floyd Money Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya rematching. These two clashing in the ring is going to be insanity and will make so much money. It could be one of the most profitable events in boxing history. The beef these two have is also amazing. They are filling the internet with a lot of entertainment for people even before the fight is set up. It's amazing marketing and creates a great atmosphere for either supporting side. Though the beef isn't as aggressive as others, it is definitely enough to get the sales booming once the fight is announced and tickets are on sale at some point. Twitter is a great platform for things like this, and it just shows how the world is changing with social media. The coronavirus pandemic meant that in-person trash talking was not possible at press events and the pre-fight conferences, so Twitter was the best place for these athletes to attack each other. There was no need for an actual event or to be near each other. It opens up the possibilities for future events and for more creative trash talking and beef. Their beef transcended being physical and took social media by storm. It was even trending at one point. To end off the list, it's possible the fight might not happen. Things are still unclear how lots of boxing events are going to go down even as we exit the global pandemic and things return to some normalcy. And that's our list. We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you thought about it in the comments, and also tell us what your prediction for the fight is. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe with notifications on. Thanks for watching.